A gray sky loomed over the quiet college town of Ridgefield, Texas. The sidewalks glistened with recent rain as Ethan Cole, a weary 23-year-old law student, trudged toward campus with his backpack slung loosely over one shoulder, burdened by tuition, a part-time job, and debts inherited from his late father. He often felt the walls of life closing in tighter every day. His phone buzzed suddenly, interrupting the rhythm of his troubled thoughts. "Ethan Cole speaking," he answered, trying to sound composed. A calm, authoritative woman's voice responded. "Mr. Cole, this is Margaret Sinclair. I'd like to meet with you regarding your financial situation." Ethan frowned. "I'm sorry, who are you?" "How do I know enough?" she interrupted smoothly. "Let's meet at Sinclair's Bistro. 7 p.m. It's important." Before he could ask another question, the call ended. Confused but intrigued, Ethan made his way to the upscale cafe that evening. The rain fell harder as he arrived, his jacket doing little to protect him. Inside, the air was warm, scented with roasted coffee and fresh pastries. At a corner table sat Margaret Sinclair, a striking woman in her early 70s, silver hair styled with precision, her tailored suit radiating wealth and authority. "Ethan," she greeted, motioning for him to sit. Her tone was calm yet commanding. He hesitated, then sat opposite her. "Mrs. Sinclair? What's this about?" "Straight to the point." "Good." She sipped her tea. "Ethan, I know about your debts, the ones your father left behind. You're drowning, trying to survive. I'm here to offer a solution." "And what kind of solution?" he asked cautiously. Setting down her cup, she looked directly into his eyes. "Marry me." Ethan blinked, certain he'd misheard. "Excuse me?" "You heard me," Margaret said firmly. "This isn't about romance. It's a business arrangement. I'll pay off your debts and guarantee your financial stability. In return, you'll be my husband." He let out a stunned laugh. "You're serious? Why me? You don't even know me." Margaret leaned forward, her voice quiet but sharp. "That's precisely why. You're young, unattached, and desperate enough to consider this. I don't need love, Ethan. I need a companion, someone to share my name, my estate. Nothing more. Think of it as a contract." Ethan stared, his pulse racing. "This is insane. What's in it for you?" Her expression softened briefly. "I've spent my life alone. I have no children, no family left. I want companionship, even if it's only for appearances. And I want to secure my legacy before it's too late." He rose abruptly, chair scraping the floor. "I can't. I need time." "Of course," she said evenly, "but don't take too long. The offer won't last." That night, Ethan sat at the kitchen table beside his frail mother. Medical bills piled high, her treatment straining what little they had. His younger sister's college fees loomed next. After explaining the proposal, his mother looked at him with weary eyes. "It sounds unthinkable, but if she's truly willing to help, maybe it's worth considering." Ethan's jaw tightened. "You're asking me to marry a woman I don't love to solve our problems?" She reached for his hand. "I'm asking you to save us." "Ethan, to save yourself." The next morning, after a sleepless night, Ethan returned to the bistro. Margaret was already there, serene as ever. "You've decided?" she asked without looking up from her tablet. "I'll do it," he said finally. Her lips curved into a faint, satisfied smile. "Good. Arrangements will be made immediately." A week later, Ethan stood in a courthouse, dressed in a crisp suit Margaret had provided. The ceremony was quiet, witnessed only by her lawyer and a notary. When the officiant pronounced them husband and wife, Margaret turned toward him, her smile elegant but hollow. "Welcome to your new life, Mr. Cole."
Outside,
rain drizzled once again as he looked at his reflection in a puddle. Had I just saved my family or sold my soul? Their car rolled up the long, winding drive to Sinclair Manor, a sprawling estate of marble columns and cold, timeless grandeur. The mansion could have been mistaken for a museum. Its windows glowed faintly, but the light felt lifeless. "Welcome, Mr. Cole," Margaret said as they entered the foyer. Her tone formal, distant. "Dinner is at 7. I trust you'll find everything satisfactory." Ethan followed a silent housekeeper upstairs. His room was luxurious, an antique bed, silk drapes, a view of endless gardens. Yet it felt cold, untouched by warmth or humanity. That evening, at the vast dining table, Margaret sat at the opposite end, impeccably dressed in pearls. "I trust you're settling in," she asked, slicing her fillet with mechanical grace. "It's different," Ethan replied cautiously. "This place feels like a maze. You'll get used to it," she said, smiling faintly. "Or you won't." Her tone made his stomach twist. "You never mentioned your late husband?" he said, probing gently. Her knife froze mid-cut. Then she dabbed her lips with a napkin. "He was a businessman. His path once crossed with your father's." Her eyes darkened. "Not all meetings end well. What do you mean?" Ethan pressed. Margaret's gaze turned sharp. "Let's just say, unfinished business has a way of lingering." Her cryptic words lingered in his mind long after dinner. As he roamed the silent halls later, he noticed locked doors, their brass handles gleaming in the dim light. Each seemed to guard a secret. Days turned into weeks, and Ethan's unease deepened. The staff avoided eye contact, whispering when he passed. "Why him? She never does anything without a reason. He'll find out eventually. They always do." Late one night in the library, Ethan noticed an ornate key glinting under a lamp on Margaret's desk. The house was still. He hesitated, then pocketed the key. In bed, he turned it over in his hand. His instincts screamed that it opened one of those locked doors, and that whatever lay behind it was something she didn't want him to see. At midnight, he crept through the hall, heart hammering, moonlight washing over the polished floors. He reached a door at the far end of the corridor. The key slid in easily. A soft click echoed through the silence. Inside, dust motes floated through cold air. The room felt frozen in time-faded wallpaper, tarnished photo frames, relics of another life. Among the photos, he saw a younger Margaret, her late husband, and shockingly his own father, smiling together at a business event. On the desk lay legal documents, partnership records, letters, accusations of fraud. One note, written in sharp, slanted handwriting, sent chills through him. "You ruined everything. My family lost everything because of your lies." At the bottom of the pile lay a marriage certificate. Dated weeks before his wedding, his name and Margaret's already. It's filled in. Ethan's breath caught. Beside the papers sat a leather-bound diary. He opened it. "I will take everything from him, just as his father did to me. He will be my pawn." A floorboard creaked behind him. "Enjoying yourself?" Margaret's voice was cold and cutting. He turned, guilt and fear flashing across his face. "Margaret, curiosity," she said. "Stepping forward can be dangerous." "Ethan, why did you marry me?" he demanded. "Was this all revenge for what my father did?" Her eyes hardened. "It's not your place to question me. Just do what you're told, and you'll leave this marriage better off than you started." Ethan snapped. "You lied to me, manipulated me. This isn't a marriage, it's a trap." Margaret's lips curved slightly. "A trap? Maybe you should have read the fine print, dear." Her voice dripped venom. "You're just like your father, blind until it's too late. If you hated him so much, why punish me?" Ethan's voice shook. "I had nothing to do with it." She stared at him for a long moment, then turned away. "You're in over your head. Ethan, stay out of matters that don't concern you." The door shut behind her with a soft thud. Leaving Ethan trembling in the dark room, the diary still open in his shaking hands. Grand Belgian palace interior, chandeliers glowing, young Princess Stephanie in a silver gown. Looking through tall windows, King Leopold II, seated on a throne of red velvet. Unreadable gaze as courtiers bow, 17-year-old Stephanie in bridal attire. Soft candlelight over her innocent face, Vienna Cathedral filled with nobles. Her royal wedding with Crown Prince Rudolph, parade carriage moving through snow-covered Vienna streets, crowds cheering. Emperor Franz Joseph watching sternly from a palace balcony, Empress Elizabeth Sissi, standing apart. Sadness in her eyes. Stephanie entering the Hofburg Palace. Vast marble halls. Gold and shadow. Wedding feast under candlelight. But her eyes show quiet fear, her wedding veil drifting on the floor, symbol of a future already broken. 11 to 20, the prison of marriage, cold morning light over Hofburg. Stephanie alone in a massive royal bedroom. Rudolph, in military uniform, pouring wine, ignoring his young wife. Stephanie watching her husband leave for the night. Carriage wheels vanish into mist. Secret letter from mistress, hidden under glass decanter. Palace doctor, whispering to Rudolph. Exchanging uneasy glances. Stephanie clutching a handkerchief stained with blood. Realization of infection. Candle flickering near her tear-streaked face. Despairing in silence. Mirror reflection showing two versions of her, royal and ruined. Night corridor lit by oil lamps. Servants gossiping in whispers. Stephanie sitting at a writing desk. Letter unopened. Eyes hollow. 21 to 30, the cruelty of the crown court. Ballroom nobles laughing as she stands alone in shadow. Rudolph drunk at a masquerade. Mask, crooked chaos around him. Stephanie humiliated at dinner. Husband mocking her before guests. Empress Sissi glancing sadly toward her. Daughter-in-law from afar. Rudolph visiting brothel district in foggy. Vienna alley. Doctor's office. Diagram of disease. Hoft hidden behind curtain. Stephanie praying before a dim chapel altar. Hands trembling. Portrait sitting painter, capturing her forced smile. Empty cradle and nursery room. Symbol of lost motherhood. Stephanie walking through garden at dusk. Wilted roses along her path, 3140. The shadow of Marilyn Rudolph, writing letters at candlelit desk. Madness in his eyes. Mary Vitzera's portrait, young Meerwetzer's portrait, young Meerwetzer's, young Meerwetzer's, young Welts. Young welted roses along her Weltzers. Welted roses along her path. 314. E. Welters. Welters. Relters Roding. Welters Rest. Relters. Meerwelts. Resters. Relters. Welters. Welters Welser. Welters Welters. 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 And Welter so Welter. Relters. And Welter. 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 And Welwer at Welser well. But unwere as elver and plesser at s at the one at s at enel with the welt when and wes or at the finalum and with on one end with than where we said the men and brown while with it I wed other to the one or two with the die with the wood that went I went with it. Delicate, romantic, secret meeting between Rudolph and Mary at opera balcony. Snow falling over. Marilyn hunting lodge, distant wolves howling, servants preparing rooms with nervous glances. Mary arriving in dark cloak. Carriage lantern dim in snow. Rudolph, staring at pistol on table beside a glass of absinthe. Lovers. Final embrace by firelight, tension, and dread. Morning discovery door forced open. Servants frozen in horror. Two bodies, on bed, gun on floor. Window curtains fluttering. 41 to 50 aftermath. An exile Emperor Franz Joseph reading telegram. Expression collapsing. Stephanie receiving the news. Fainting as attendants rush. Mailer, lodge surrounded by police and snow. Funeral procession through Vienna. Black horses and mourning veils. Newspapers spreading scandalous headlines. Vienna streets silent. Crowds whispering behind gloves. Stephanie in black widow dress. Standing before a closed coffin. Royal court gathered. Everyone staring coldly at her. Emperor turning his back as she bows in grief. Stephanie's carriage leaving. The palace gates under gray skies. 5160. The second life-lonely countryside estate in Hungary, fog over fields. Count Eleanor Lonier reading by fireplace. Gentle smile. Stephanie walking through gardens, hair loose. Peace returning. Small chapel wedding, no royalty. Only sunlight through windows, hands intertwined. A symbol of quiet love. Two horses grazing as couple walks barefoot on grass. Cozy room with books. Cats sleeping by the hearth. Stephanie writing in diary. Ink stains on her fingers. Sunset over Hungarian hills, serenity at last. Portrait of older Stephanie. Eyes calm, crown replaced by simplicity. 6170. The end and legacy Stephanie at her desk writing memoir, I was to be empress. Printing press turning pages with her name rolling out. Vienna nobles reading her book with shock. Portrait of Emperor Franz. Joseph fading behind torn pages. War drums of 1914, soldiers marching. Empire trembling, collapsing palace corridors. Chandeliers shattered, Stephanie and Elmer watching smoke rise from distant city. Elderly Stephanie, tending garden. Gentle smile amid ruins, simple bedroom oil lamp, beside her peaceful sleeping form. Final frame, her grave under soft sunlight. Stone cross reading, Stephanie Lanier, she was to be empress.